Welcome to the Online Trainer Show, where we help fitness and nutrition pros take better care of their clients and build profitable businesses. I'm Jonathan Goodman, and as always, I'm joined by Amber Reynolds. We're happy you're here. Let's start the show. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the newly revamped Online Trainer Show. I am so excited to be here. Every time I say Online Trainer Show, I try to not go sharp with a show, but I always do it naturally when I'm not paying attention. That's probably why doing that little intro jingle doohickey thing took me 14 takes, because every single time I was like, no, sound natural. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainer Show. And I just kept talking about it like that. I know. So, Amber, I'm so happy to be here doing this with you. I just listened actually this morning to the final episode of our previous format, where we, of course, made the announcement and talked about it. And where you came in and talked about how you were petrified at this new format. It kind of made me laugh.
My instinct is to panic, period. That's just kind of my default mode is, oh crap, and then pull it together. And then
Well, you've done a great job putting together all of the little bits and pieces we needed for this. So for anybody interested, we are now recording actually 8 episodes at once. We're going to see how this goes. So this is episode number 1. You can pay attention over the next 4 weeks to see how our energy goes, because this will all have been recorded at the same time. And this is...
Were we supposed to do costume changes for people doing YouTube?
I don't think so. If anybody calls us out on that, then they're a joke. Straight up. They're just, it's just not.
Wear the same thing anyway, so it would have been fine for you.
Exactly why. For you, maybe a little bit less so. But it's one of those things I feel like where if somebody calls you on that, yeah, I really like the podcast, but can't believe they're wearing the same thing. It's like, you dick, you know?
I mean, we get weird comments sometimes, and nothing would surprise me.
We do. Surprisingly, people on the internet like to say things that are weird. Anyway, what are we talking about today? We're talking about what's the subject here?
You're apparently your sister is a lawyer.
Yes, she is. So my sister is a lawyer. My brother is a teacher. My other brother is a banker, works in small business banking. And my mom is a teacher, and my dad is an engineer turned business consultant. And I'm a personal trainer.
How did that fare?
I mean, there were lots of times where people wondered when I was going to get a real job. For sure. And I think it kind of makes sense. I've reflected on this a lot. It's interesting that I've never really spoken about it, because I feel like a lot of trainers, hopefully will be able to connect with this idea of everybody kind of thinks that at one point we're going to get a real job, that personal training is a real job. All of the people that we know, I mean, that's my family. All of my friends growing up are lawyers, doctors, teachers, dentists, accountants, literally every single one. And I guess I wonder how common or uncommon this is. So I think the problem kind of stems with I'm like a lot of people, I'm a 3rd generation immigrant to my country, to Canada. So my grandparents came here escaping the Holocaust from Eastern Europe and struggled. New immigrants that time, didn't have anything. My parents were raised with little amounts of money, were able to squeeze their way through school and eventually go to university, but squeezed their way through with debt, and then, rose to the top as they could rise with jobs. So, sort of middle management type jobs, so that they could pay for education for their kids to, rise up one level higher, and become a doctor or an accountant, like the upper echelon of society, whatever it is. And then I come along.
Mess it all up.
And I just mess it all up. And I this idea of always being compared to somebody else who is more successful in the conventional sense is something that I've had to deal with for my entire career. there's always been that looming over my head. My sister's older than me, so she was the first, and she's very successful. She's super smart. We're close. She's awesome. But, yeah, she was a highly successful lawyer, right? And I never was going towards that. And I was always on my own. And I think that's the big thing that I want to talk about quickly here is that in our profession, if you're going to be in the fitness industry, you have to understand that you are on your own. And that can be a tough pill to swallow for a period of time. But it can also be something that it feels really, really good when you rise above it, right? And you will. But and the awareness of you're on your own, nobody's going to do this for you. No magical mentor is going to swoop down from the heavens and save you. No certification or education body is going to swoop down from the heavens and save you. Like, you are on your own to build up the collected wisdom and insights and experience to be able to do this thing. And so I wanted to ask you, Amber, what it is that you think, considering that we're on our own, and to be honest, a lot of people probably don't believe in us, right, in this profession, and figure that at one point we're basically going to fail. What is it that you think is most important for people to learn, like, tactfully and gain in order to really make a go of this thing?
So I think one thing that's really important is growing the thick skin, and the things that you hear, like, because I remember when I first started, like, oh, eventually I'll grow up and, do a different job and whatever, just because everybody assumes that being a personal trainer, like, is a thing that you do in your 20s, and then you do something else.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I had applications in for master's degrees because I was going to go into academia.
No. I would be interested to see you. I mean, I guess you do this to a certain extent, but to see you as a teacher, like, in a literal setting, that would be interesting.
I am a teacher.
No, I know, but, like, literally in, like, a big room with, like, 300 people in a room, just staring at you, that would be entertaining.
I mean, I've done a fair bit of lecturing and stuff, right? I don't think you've ever actually seen me speak. I mean, I stopped doing it kind of when Calvin came along because, to be honest, I just don't give a shit. Like, nothing's more, like, you're going to tell me that you're going to pull me away from my son and my family to speak to a room of people, and you're going to pull me away for 4 days when you incorporate all the travel to speak for 45 minutes? Hell no. It is simply not important enough to me to be able to do that. So I don't do it as much anymore. I mean, I certainly don't do it during the pandemic, but my dream in life, I'll tell you what my dream in life is to at one point teach high school sex ed.
I would pay for that. That would be interesting just to see what you would do.
It would. I had a friend who was a high school gym teacher for a couple of years. We're not close anymore. But I said to him, I was just like, when it's sex ed time, like, I want to be a guest lecturer. Like, let me do this. Like, let me go.
That should be an episode, just like an off-topic episode, because I bet our
kids, we're going to go around the circle, and everybody's going to give a different name for the penis.
I'm sure the younger crowd has even more interesting names than we did.
Yeah. Oh, God, there's got to be so many new ones that I don't even know about. Crowdsourcing information. Anyway, I mean, I really, this is, some of the episodes that we do here are going to be, like, super tact, right? And super actionable. This one is more just, I don't know. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it. I have people in my life, I've always had people in my life that I've been compared to, and what's fun now is that now these people come to me, these friends of mine that became doctors, anesthesiologists, like high-ranking doctors and stuff, and they look at me and they're just like, shit, man, you got it figured out. And that switched, right? Yeah. And that's because I stayed up late at night. I woke up early, and I was up at 5:30 this morning reading a book about marketing theory. My kid woke up at 7:30. Like, I've been doing this for a decade plus, more, 15 years now. That's what it takes when you're on your own. But I'll tell you, the fruits of your labors taste extra sweet.
Yep, absolutely. Just being able to stay focused for that long and do the right things over time. Something will happen, but you have to be there for something to happen in the first place. So if you go a year and nothing's happening and you leave, well, of course. I mean, you got to have the long game.
It's unconventional, right? Mm-hmm. It's an unconventional path. And unconventional paths are always going to be more difficult when you are going through them and sometimes feel hopeless. It's hard to see, the diamond at the end of the tunnel. It's hard to see over the mountain, whatever it is. But when you get there, it's always sweeter. And so I think it's just one of these things where, like, there's no right or wrong. There's just different ways to do it. Do we play the jingle? Is there a jingle?
No, we just say goodbye now.
We just say goodbye?
That's it.
Is there nothing?
I mean, I could replay the intro, but that wouldn't make sense.
That wouldn't make any sense. Do I have to record an outro now? That's going to take a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you want an outro, then yeah, we need that.
Okay. On to the next one.